This
You
video
know what
is
I mean?
only
If
for
you're making a season every 18
entertainment
months, that's
purpose
basically your
and
life,
not for
you know?
copyright.
And so there's like, they don't understand the ramifications of that and a bunch of other waterfall stuff. Like it's stuff we just don't deal with over here on YouTube. And like the thought of like really realizing like, oh, like if I signed the wrong deal and this show does well, they just own me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so you got to negotiate very hard, which a lot of people makes them uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you were actively negotiating. On
Oh,
your
of
behalf.
course.
It sounds like.
I mean, this is my first time stepping out of the YouTube lane. I've been 14 years nonstop this way. And I'm like, I'll go dip my toe over here a little bit. But, you know, it's very scary. Yeah.
What did you learn about negotiating?
I mean, most of it was what I said there. Because I could have obviously pushed for more and more money, but the more you push, the less control they're going to give you. So it's kind of like, hey, you know, let me just prove myself and then we'll talk for season 2 and stuff like that. And also Amazon was just great. It's like, they're just letting me do whatever I think is great content and trusting me. And I love it.
Did you like fly out and like sit in like, I'm trying to imagine the actual negotiation room.
yeah,
Were you
well,
like in like a big boardroom with them?
I was with a certain one, but no, not Amazon. And the certain one, it was an interesting conversation, which you could probably pick up what I'm based off of everything I've been saying. But no, Amazon, they just got it. They never really. It's weird. Like other platforms, like they would never give it up. But from the first call, they were just like, "Yeah, that makes sense. You can have control." They were literally like, "We don't want it. You're the master." And I was like, "Yeah, why can't everyone just think like that?" You know what I mean?
Was there any Feastables tie-in with Amazon? Was like that part of the conversation, or is it pretty separate?
Yeah, well, you'll see when the show comes out.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not going to make 6 hours of content without talking about
of course.
Feastables. Yeah.
Is that like my thought when we were talking last night about the show? I was like, are the contestants going to be selected through like people who buy Feastables, like golden ticket vibes?
Well, this is where it is a little different. I do believe there are like regulations for, you know, game shows on streaming platforms.
Interesting.
I'm still reading them. So, you know, YouTube's a little different than this. Because YouTube, I can just do stuff like that. I can just be like, you know what? Pull up a database of 100 people that bought chocolate bars and pick 100 random ones.
Got it.
I think I can do that over here. I don't know. So I don't want to say anything. And then someone be like, actually, that's illegal.
Right. All lawyers wear glasses. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that like that's the obvious. Like, it seems like as you're starting to move into new deals, like having the commerce tie-in and the Feastables tie-in is like, it obviously makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is the camera over there? There we go.
That's
Sorry.
our camera.
My bad.
Yeah.
I wasn't even in frame. I'm bad at this.
So can you tell us what the prize is? You tease that. No. Okay. But it's the largest prize
it's
in
the largest
game show
cash prize
history.
in history, yeah.
Yeah.
My hope for the show, outside of it being the largest cash prize, outside of it having the most amount of people, is that it still feels very YouTube.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
Having just watched your Abandoned video, 7 days,
Yeah.
there's a clip where you're flying a drone and you fly it and you land it right next to a cat.
Yeah.
Mark Rober's there as well. Like, my hope is that it's this really massive show at a crazy scale, but we still have cameos from creators at times. And it still feels at times like YouTubery in a way that like
100%.
When does the host of a show ever fly a drone and then you watch the feed of what it actually looks like? You know, like I want it to feel still like connected to you and doing some things that you would only expect to see on YouTube.
Well, it's funny you saying that because it feels like some high level thing, but I literally was just like, that's a cat. And I just grabbed a drone.
Totally. Yeah, there's nothing like super strategic about that.
Exactly. Especially that one, because you could argue that was very drawn out, but I was just like, it's funny. A cat walked up to the drone. Agreed. I mean, same thing. But the thing is it's just me and the boys are just naturally a little stupid and silly. And so, on set, we're just going to be doing dumb things the whole time. And then since there's always a camera on, you know, well, the editors will be like, wow, that was funny. And put it in.
I mean, even just being at some main channel shoots today with you, like Chandler and Nolan were just actually making each other laugh.
Yeah.
And then it was being caught on camera and it was making me laugh too, just sitting there. And I was like, this is like the beauty of YouTube. And I really do hope it translates. I will say the other thing is that as we were talking about this interview, Colin and I were like, is Jimmy still a YouTuber? Like being on the, the cover of Time magazine, like where you're now, ending up and now having an Amazon streaming show, it's hard to wrap our heads around you being a YouTuber. And we were having this conversation with some of your team.
Yeah.
And then they showed us this picture.
Oh gosh.
Okay. This is you recording voiceover.
Yep.
With mattresses, like a makeshift VO booth.
Yeah.
For your most recent video. And I was like, this is YouTube.
Of course.
And that was one of your best performing, the VO ended up in one of your best performing videos.
I mean, that's top 10 most viewed YouTube videos 24 hours in history, not music.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, agreed. He's referencing, so I spent 7 days on a deserted island. Right after I finished, I had to do VO, but I couldn't go to a booth or anything. So we just set up a booth in a random hotel room on a random island. And I had to crank it out so we could quickly throw it in before the video went up. I mean, yeah, I still film, some months 25 days out of the month. And then the 5 days I'm not filming, I still got to do voiceovers and all this other stuff. So,
but this,
I'm about as YouTuber as it gets.
Yeah, I know.
I'm more of a YouTube, spend more time filming than probably any other YouTuber on the planet.
And this setup is like DIY. And it's like one of the most like you just said, one of the most watched videos on the platform. And it's like traditional media can't like comprehend that, right? Like that VO can just be recorded on the go, and it's like just makes it into.
I mean, we literally just took all the blankets and pillows and put it up, and just had this little microphone, threw it in there. Because if not, we wouldn't have uploaded. So you got to do what you got to do.
When we talk about scale, Prime Video has like 220 million subscribers.
Okay, it seems low. I think it had more.
Does it have more?
I thought it was closer to 300.
Okay, so around, let's say 300 million then.
Yeah.
That's still your most viewed video is 580.
Yeah.
Do you like when you think about like scale? What do you think about when it comes to like going on a streaming platform where the ceiling is actually potentially lower than it is on YouTube, right?
Well, that's one of the beauties of Amazon is a lot of people do have Amazon Prime, and what's interesting is like you could say the same thing about Squid Game, right? Like probably back then only 200 million people had Netflix accounts, but somehow everyone on the planet watched Squid Game. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, a lot of households have one account. So a lot of people go watch it with their friends or whatever. So it's like for the most part that applies to most shows, but like the shows that really do well and crush, for some reason, they somehow manage to just kind of transcend that barrier a little bit. Obviously, it happens a little more on Netflix than it does other platforms, but more people know about The Voice than like actively probably watch shows on Amazon Video, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's I'm hoping I can get to that point where it's, I don't know, people just find a way to watch it. Like
that's an
if it's a great
point.
show, they just do,
Yeah, because essentially you can think about it as like if someone has a Prime Video account, there might be 4 people in the household.
Exactly.
Right. So
and obviously a lot of people sign up for Prime too. So which would be great because then season 2 I could have a bigger budget and go even crazier.
Right. Is it all going to be dropped at once, all 10 episodes, or it's not weekly, is it?
That I'll be honest, I haven't put any thought into it.
What would you
I've put thought into is like, how do I make this the greatest show ever? I haven't even thought of that.
What would you prefer? Or what do you prefer as a viewer? Do you
Honestly,
like to binge?
At some point, I'll probably look at the data and just kind of do whatever the data says people like. I don't know if people like the anticipation of waiting and talking about it, especially contestant-based stuff and theorizing. So I will want whatever makes the best experience. Best experience for the viewers. So which I don't know. I can tell you that on YouTube. Back of my head. And, like streaming services, I'm not even gonna I am a toddler in the streaming world. And like I've spent a ton of time watching every game show and like, studying content, but the actual back end application and like all that other stuff, like weekly drops all at once. I know nothing and I'm not even gonna act like I know anything. And so at some point I'll go like deep dive, pull all the data. Amazon will probably give me, anything I want and help me with that and then figure it out. But like right now, because we got to shoot in a couple months, like we had to like make sure we have, just the perfect, greatest, most insane episodes ever with that
concepts.
And then now we're starting to like bring them to life. And it's like, it's also one thing to write like a, episode that you're going to spend $10 million on and, build like 20 just ginormous, massive sets and all these inner workings and, just to think of it and like that, even just